Last weekend, it was London, Ontario's annual Sunfest. It's a yearly tradition where the same vendors that appear at the handful of other local festivals we have here show up to try and sell beach towels with sports teams on it and wooden jewelry and shawarma, and there's live music. You have these festivals in your town, I'm sure. This year, however, there was a protest at Sunfest. You see, women in this city are ticked off. They're sick of the fact that men can walk around shirtless at public events, but they can't. So, a woman, whose name I won't mention and I'll explain why later, organized the Nipple Party, where women would show up, walk around and say, "Look, my breasts are out. Don't like it? Too fucking bad. There's nothing wrong with them." Which, they'd be correct about. Legally, there's nothing wrong with it. Since 1996, nearly 20 fucking years ago, Ontario women have been allowed to walk around topless. There's no fine, no penalty, and no limits to this law. Except obviously at any store that says no shoes, no shirt, no service, which I always thought was weird. I guess I could walk in with my dick out as long as I got a nice polo on. Sign doesn't say anything about pants. Sell me a fucking Slurpee. This might be the single most pointless protest that there's ever been. It'd be like people in Colorado heading to their local park with signs, picketing for the legalization of marijuana. We should be allowed to buy and use weed. Wait, what do you mean we can already? Except at least they'd only be about a year or two behind the times, not 19. So, why then would they bother with this? The claim is that it's because we treat nudity as scandalous. It's extra significant when we happen to catch a glimpse of a real breast or a butt or whatever. I truly believe that society could very quickly adjust to general public toplessness if it became a regular enough occurrence. This is a quote from the organizer. This is a pretty fucking optimistic claim, that if we just saw tits all the time, we'd stop thinking of them as sexual things pretty quickly. I don't share this level of optimism, as you might have guessed. Entire industries exist on sexualizing both men and women's bodies, from clothing companies that design garments to accentuate parts of the body while leaving something to the imagination, to strip clubs and porn companies that want you to pay money to see attractive naked people do naked people things. This isn't something that'll go away. We'll stop thinking of tits as sexy because we see a few on our walk to work. There are a ton of places in Europe that are super liberal about nudity, and I'll guarantee those people still find a naked woman or man sexually stimulating. They're not like, "Hey, I'm sick of the boobies now. Let's just have sex for practical reasons." I agree when everyone tells me that it's important to love myself and to be confident, but then I'm told to cover my breasts out of respect for other people. How do my breasts affect other people? What harm do they cause to other people? You're right, they don't cause any harm. Personally, I don't give a shit. Doesn't offend me, topless or not. But why do they have to be out? Why must you be naked or topless to love yourself and be confident? Supposedly, this is also about this year's other hot trend phrase, body shaming. Showing that all naked bodies are beautiful, but, I'm sorry, they're not. I know that's the mentality you want to try and fix, but they're not. Some people look better naked than others. As humans, we're always going to have visual preferences for everything. This started long before we started putting clothes on ourselves. Not every painting is beautiful. Some fucking suck. Not every vehicle looks really cool. A Lamborghini looks better than a Nissan Cube. But certainly that doesn't mean a cube or your kid's finger painting of either a tree or food poisoning, whatever this is, shouldn't be allowed to exist. Some people are ugly with clothes on. I'm not exactly the best looking dude on the planet, but I should be able to walk around without a bag on my head and free from ridicule. But I kind of need to have my face exposed. Helps if I can see and breathe and eat and whatnot. Things I gotta do in public. Your body doesn't have to be out. And don't give me the, "it's more comfortable" nonsense. Clothes were created for an actual purpose. They shield our sad, fragile human meat from the sun in the summer and protect our pathetically unadaptable bodies from being cold in the winter. Underwear and bras keep all our flappy parts from getting caught on stuff. If the issue is, why should men be allowed to walk around everywhere topless? I think the better solution is to just make dudes wear shirts. I always think it's odd when I'm somewhere that's not the beach and a guy has his shirt off anyway. It doesn't offend me. I just think, why is this guy not wearing a shirt? Can he not afford one, or what's the deal here? It just seems kinda weird. Why? I don't know. I wish I had a better answer than this, but it's because society has drilled that into our heads for a few hundred years. And now, one girl is determined to undo hundreds of years of programming by showing up at a festival with her knockers on display. I don't see it happening, but again, it doesn't matter if I don't see it happening, because there's nothing illegal about it. Any man or woman can walk around any street, park, whatever, with no top on here. Our statement will be heard best through our personal demonstration of disobedience. What are you disobeying? Certainly not the law. So the only thing I can gather is that this person just wanted attention, which is why they made sure to get their name and face in every article about it, and why I've blurred it out. I don't want them to get more attention. Here she's holding a sign that says, "What's the big deal?" Face visible, tits not, which, by doing so, by allowing the newspaper to censor her, doesn't that just go against everything she's trying to accomplish? This plays right into the patriarchy and oppressive traditions you're complaining about. And by saying, "What's the big deal?" you're making it a big deal. It would have been better to just organize it anonymously through social media, do it, and then if anyone got pissed, be like, "It's legal, don't like it? Go home or look in another direction." The event statement includes this. Do you know why this event is so important to me? Because personal freedom, that's why. Everyone I know deserves to have theirs respected by the public. Even the public themselves deserve to have their rights respected by the rest of the public. She says this, and yet clearly doesn't respect the rights of people who don't believe everyone should be walking around topless for whatever reasons they might have. Because she is in the right, you see, and everyone else is just wrong. That's the message here. You're wrong, and she knows better than you. What has to be understood is that not everyone gets to be the winner. There will always be a loser, and it's human nature to be selfish and want yourself to be the winner at another's expense. We decided that everyone had the right to be free of cancer-causing secondhand smoke, which limited the personal freedom of choice of smokers. They lost some of their freedom to partake in a still very legal activity. Cigarettes aren't banned, but they can't enjoy them in most public places. The majority of society thinks that's good, myself included, but I'm not a smoker. Smokers feel very differently, but we've decided that they don't have the right to freedom of choice. No, seeing breasts won't hurt you. Secondhand tits won't slowly kill you. But the point is about freedom. There are plenty of examples like this in society where one group's rights become more important than another's. There's no possible way for everyone to get what they want. Not everyone wants to be naked, and not everyone wants to see people naked all the time. But according to this person, those rights should take a backseat to hers. Of course she feels that way. We all feel that way. We all want what we want and don't really give a fuck if it interferes with what others want. That's totally human nature. But my opinion doesn't matter because I'm just a straight white guy. I'm just cis scum, part of the patriarchy. My rights, my views, they don't matter because I had my time, you see. Everything that bad people did hundreds or thousands of years ago, that's now my fault. It's now on me. I'm supposed to say sorry for every native ever slaughtered, every woman who couldn't vote before suffrage, every slave ever owned, and every tit ever covered by cloth. That's all my fault, you see. I did it, despite having been born in Canada in 1981. Despite growing up in a suburb with two parents who worked hard to put food on the table, I must shoulder the blame. I'm supposed to apologize for not having a shitty childhood, for being lucky enough to having been born white and male, looking down at my dick and saying, yeah, that's fine where it is. And looking at women around the time I hit puberty and saying, whoa, yeah, that seems to be my type. And I fucking won't. I will not apologize. So Miss shall not be named, have your fucking nipple party at every goddamn event in London. Show up at Ribfest, at Beerfest, every fucking fest you want. Put the goods on display all over the city. You won 19 years ago when you were 0. Congrats.